Hey guys, welcome to my channel and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be showing you how I achieved this eye look using the new Jeffree Star Nude palettes. I do already have a video on my channel using these palettes, but I wanted to go ahead and show you another look and play with them again. So if you want to see how I got this look, then just keep on watching. Alright, so I'm going to quickly run through my face makeup and then we will jump into the eyeshadow look since that is the focus of this video. I am going to be trying out the new Jeffree Star Nude palettes again. I did feature these in my last Get Ready With Me. I will link that below in case you want to see my first kind of thoughts on it, but I want to try it again just to see how it's going to be. So since nothing has changed with my face makeup, I'm just going to go ahead and speed right through it. Alright, so I have all of my face makeup done. As I mentioned, it's pretty much the same thing I always do, so no need to explain all of that. But I am going to be using Jeffree Star's new palettes, the Nude collection. If you saw my last video, you will know I'm not going to discuss the name or the theme of this palette just because I feel like it's a bit much and it's not something I really want to promote on my channel. But I do love the palette, at least from the one time I've used it. I will say that these first two rows, it could have been condensed. This whole top row, there's no need for that many of the basically the same type of shade. But I mean, from the time I used it, I really did like it. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump into this again today. Let me try to zoom you in a little bit so you can see a little bit better. Alright, so I do have my lids primed with my MERCIER concealer. That is what I always do. So I'm going to just set that down with one of the 6 light shades here in the top. I guess I'll go ahead and use, I don't think I used this one last time, so I'm just going to use this one. There is Kick Up in the Pan, just to note. I did use a shade from this palette to do my brows and it worked pretty well. I usually use my JACLYN Hill Original Morphe palette to do my brows. I have found that honestly I am not much of a brow pencil type person. I have really been enjoying using just shadows, so I did use this one in my brows today. Normally, I'll show you just really quick. Normally I use this shade from the original JACLYN Hill palette, but I decided just to do something different since I have this palette in front of me. So I'm going to take Fluffy Crease Brush. I just want to say I have all of my brushes clean at the moment and this is a first and I'm so happy to have them all clean. But I can just pick from any one and I know it's going to be clean, which is amazing. So I'm just going to go ahead and take a light shade. I am going to try to look and not use the exact same shades I used last time, but I am going to say right off the bat, I am sure the look that I'm going to create is going to be similar to the last one I did in my last Get Ready With Me, just because of the nature of this palette. I mean, you're not going to get drastically different looks with it, in my opinion. So I'm going to go ahead and take, I'm going to mix, I think these 2 shades to do my crease because I used this one last time, so I don't want to use it again, but might as well mix and see. There is quite a bit of kick up so far. I'm trying to hold the mirror here. Alright, that put a little something there. I didn't go in too heavy because you know, with his shadows, they are pigmented, so I'd rather go in lightly at first and then, you know, see where it's gonna take me. All right, so that definitely added some more dimension. Now we'll do the other eye. All right, so here is the eyes so far. This is just our initial shade. I'm gonna go in and more precisely add shades. So I'll go ahead and take this brush. This is a Morphe M573. It's a bit more like pointed and precise. So, this shade is really pretty, so let's go with this one right here. I'm just going to more precisely put this in the crease. I am coating the brush, but tapping it off. So I'm going to really try to focus this like in the immediate crease area. And what can help with this step is first kind of like keep your eyes open a little bit, and then you can like close them a little bit more and then open them, and it really helps to get into that crease area. And by opening a little bit and closing the eye during the application, I feel like that helps it to be, you know, more even, I guess. It really gets it into the crease. Okay, so here is the difference between the two. As you can see, it definitely deepened it up. Of course, I'm gonna go clean up the edges at the end, but I just am focusing on getting this color in. And I do wanna add this to the like outer corner a little bit. So I added that into the outer corner, and again, I will clean up the edges. This is kind of that point in the look where it looks a bit crazy. So again, same thing on the other eye. That is a really nice shade. It's really pretty. I mean, honestly, from my experience using these shadows, they have blended very, very easily. The last look I did blended super easy as well. I mean, I usually don't have any issues with Jeffree Star's shadows, so I don't really expect anything less, but I will say these are blending very nicely. Okay, what I want to do is I'm going to try to clean up the edge a little bit. So I'm just going to take this fluffy crease brush. It is clean. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this shade right here, just to very lightly, just to clean up the edges. I'm like going to barely coat the brush at all. There's like not much on here. And I'm just lightly going to buff around the edge. And what I like to do too is when I'm blending, kind of blend in a like angled motion just to keep the shape the way I want it. A lot of times my eye looks tend to get more rounded, so that's why when I go to blend on the edges, I like to clean it up by using that diagonal swiping motion. And then also when I do the lower lash line, I, you know, can connect it and make it more of the shape that I want as well. So here we are. So far, so good. I think what I'm going to do now at this point, and this is what I usually do, I'm going to add on my lid shade. That way I can deepen the outer part and then blend everything together. So I'm going to go into the mini palette, and I wanted to note, when I used this for the first time, I was actually pleasantly surprised. I have seen other people saying that they have not been as impressed with this compared to his other shimmer formulas. But I think that does have to do with the formula, because I actually received an email from Jeffree Star Cosmetics saying that they will be sending everybody who ordered, I guess, this specific batch. I'm not exactly sure if it's like every single person that got this at launch, or if it's just a certain batch, because I do have a batch number on the back of mine, so it's possible that they're just gonna send it to the ones they think were affected. But basically the email was saying that there was an issue with the formulation. They're still safe to use, but they were saying that the performance might not be as good as it usually would be. So I'm very curious once I get the new one to see like what the difference is, if I notice a major difference, because I actually thought these worked pretty well, the ones that I used. So I'll be curious. And I really, you know, I don't want to use the exact same shades I used before, but I will say just from swatching a couple of these on the back of my hand, so for example, this shade, these two, and this one feel different. Like these two feel the same, and then this one feels like a different texture. This one almost feels more like, not gritty, but not as buttery smooth as these ones. So I don't know if this is more like a topper shade or if maybe that's something to do with the formula issue, but I figured I'd just point that out. So I believe I used this shade last time, but I'm really tempted to use it again. I think I'll use this one. I might have used this one last time too, but I really like it and I think it will go well with the look. It's just a nice like brown shade. So I'm just going to use my finger and put that on to my lid. Sorry, that might have not even been in focus, but my bad. This is just a really pretty everyday brown like shimmer shade. I really like it. Alright, so let's just go ahead and take a darker shade. Since it doesn't look like I used this one before, I will go ahead and take this shade right here. And there is kick up, so just keep that in mind. And tap off the brush. I'm just going to stamp this on the outer corner first. And I'm only bringing it about like halfway in once I focus most of the pigment into the outer corner. I don't want to darken up the inside of the lid too much. So I'm just going to go ahead and take my crease brush and no additional product, and I'm just going to kind of blend around the edges again. Alright, so here is where we're at. Same thing on the other eye. Alright, so here are the two eyes. I think this one looks a little bit more like extended out, but it's okay. Once we do the lashes and all that and the lower lash line, everything usually comes together. So let me go ahead. I think what I want to do really quickly is take just like a flat shader brush, and shimmers always usually apply better with the finger, but I just want to take some on here just to kind of touch up the area like closest to the crease and kind of blend some of this into that. Alright, and then I think I will pop just on the brush a tiny bit of this one right here, and I will just maybe try to put a dapple of that in the center of the lid. Just adds a little bit of something. Adding that tiny bit of light right to the center really just opens up the eyes, I feel. So I've really been liking that. I did that the last time I did this, and that's kind of the first time I've really tried that technique. And like I said, it really does make a difference, I feel. So now I'm gonna do the lower lash line, and this is gonna be nothing special. I think what I'm gonna do is go ahead and blend, I think I'll do this one that we used before, as well as this one. I'm gonna mix. These were like the second, so I had used these two originally, and then I used this one in the crease. So I'm just gonna mix, I'm gonna mix this one and this one, just to create like a nice, like a little bit of a lighter deep shade, and just buff this into the lower lash line. Again, I always drag it out to connect it to the top, but also just to create that like sharper cut, I guess you could say. As you can see, that just really helps to tie the whole look together. I do want to go ahead and add just a little bit of a deeper shade on a pencil brush. And I think what I'll do is I will take this shade that we used and just really focus this, just a tiny bit of it, like right just on the tip of the brush, and really focus this like close to the lash line in the outer corner. Alright, and then we'll take that brush we were using before, and I'm just gonna take a little bit more of the shade without mixing it, and then just kind of blend, blend it out. Alright, so here is the shadow. Always on camera, one of the eyes looks weird, but in person, honestly, everything looks pretty good. Once I add the mascara and liner, usually everything comes together, but I need to do my brow bone highlight and my inner corner. So for the brow bone, I'm going to take a matte shade, and since there's so many to choose from, I will go ahead and I guess use this one since it's pretty bright. Tap it off. This shade definitely has pigment to it. I don't know how well you can see it on camera, but it definitely brightened up the brow bone, and I can totally see it in person. But in the inner corner, I would like to use, some of these do have like a rougher feel to them, but I guess I'll go ahead and try to take this one right here. But see, like, look how, I don't know if you're gonna really be able to see it. Look how like gritty it almost looks. Not gritty, but just not super like pigmented, I guess. But I mean, I guess it is highlighting, so that's good news. All right, and let me take a clean pencil brush. I'm gonna dip it into that. I'm not really big on this shade, to be honest with you already. It just looks kind of like, I don't know how to explain it in person. It's not a smooth metallic. I guess that's the thing about it, is it's not a smooth metallic, so it is what it is, it's fine. But the look turned out pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and add my eyeliner, mascara, lips, and then we will kind of wrap up this video. Alright guys, so this is the final look. This is with mascara, eyeliner, lipstick, everything. I really like the way it turned out. Of course, this is nothing we haven't seen before. It's a neutral type of look. You know, there's no like colors involved, but I really do like how it turned out. This is honestly my kind of eyeshadow. I would wear this every day, you know, type of situation. And as far as the palettes go, from the 2 times I've used them, they blend really well and everything looks really, really great. I will be interested to see how the new mini palette is compared to this one, because I do feel like the shimmers work. I don't think there's anything necessarily like terrible about them. As I mentioned, a couple of them do feel like they just have a different texture than some of the others and some of his other metallic formulas and other palettes. So that is something to keep in mind. I will have to update you guys when I do receive the new replacement one. They said that they will let everybody know who is going to be receiving one when it ships and all that, when they get the new product in. But that is it for this look. Honestly, it was very simple, very easy to recreate, but I hope that you enjoyed it anyway. And like I said, I wanted to play with these palettes again. But if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe before you go. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.